Hello and welcome to Friday's second edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and a very happy Pi Day to you all. For today is of course 3.14 if you put the month first, and that is it's a date that's celebrated, I think, by those of us who are slightly mathematically minded. Now we're going to be having a look at a puzzle. I don't think it's got too much to do with pi. It's called Hyperextension. It's by Matt Tressel and ChinStrap, so again another collaboration, and apparently this is wonderful. It's got a completely new to me anyway, type of line in it. This line here is called a tentropy line, and it has a very peculiar mathematical property, which I will tell you about in a moment or two's time. This puzzle has 98% approval rating on Logic Masters Germany, and apparently it's not too difficult. Well, 3 stars out of 5, but full of original and lovely logic. So we'll have a look at this, and I'll read you the rules in a couple of seconds. Now, I mentioned this was the second edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and that is because, of course, it's Friday, and we do a Friday masterclass every week where either Mark or I tackle the Times crossword and sort of explain how to get into solving cryptic puzzles. So if you do enjoy cryptic crosswords, you might want to check that out. I found out since I recorded this morning's video that the puzzle today's puzzle was actually created by an old friend of mine, Richard Rogan, who tragically passed away way before his time. Yeah, I'm not sure how many more puzzles there will be by Richard, but it was incredible. Actually, as I was solving the puzzle, I was thinking, good grief, this has been set by somebody who is just such a master of their craft. And then I've subsequently found out it was by Richard. Anyway, do have a look at it. It is fabulous. One of the clues is one of my favourite in recent months. So this is a 6-letter answer, 2-4. In disagreement, when covering Fleet Street offer, it was something like that. Covering's probably the wrong word, but it does the right job. Anyway, I won't tell you more, but that is such a clever clue. So clever. Actually, over on Patreon today, Mark has released a bonus video in which he solves the Times Club monthly special, which is a vicious cryptic crossword. So if you do like cryptic crossword content, there's some more bonus stuff over on Patreon. Now, I just wanted to say something about our Friday viewership. Friday is our least watched day of the week, I think, because a lot of people go out on Fridays. Friday night is a time when a lot of people socialise. So I always feel a particular affinity with our Friday viewers, because I think that you're probably a bit more like me, and you make the effort to watch this video when it goes live on the Friday. And it's really cool because today I have got a whole wealth of sort of birthdays and other things to tell you about. And I sort of feel like most of the Friday viewers will actually listen, will enjoy listening to the birthday announcement. I hope that's true. And I will read you some of these announcements now. Although actually, I tell you what I forgot to do yesterday, didn't I? I forgot to do an update over on the Patreon competition. This is Blobz's Sudoku hunt, which has been going gangbusters. Let's just have a look. So we were at nearly 1,000 solves. 973. Let's see where that is now. Reload. Yeah, look at that. It's way over 1,000. Absolutely incredible. Really well done to everybody who's got through that 10th puzzle, balanced Neurocarby. This is fabulous. It's over 50% of the people who've done the first mini puzzle have solved all of the puzzles I think it's just a tremendous testament to how people get hooked in and they go, oh, I really like this. I'm going to really try and finish the whole thing. So brilliant work, and brilliant work to Blobz as well, on creating such a good hunt. Right, but now let's do some birthdays. I'll start off by saying happy birthday to Selena. Selena, your boyfriend, is it Jakob or Jacob? I'm going to go for Jakob. Wrote to us and said you might appreciate a shout out. I think you got him into the channel, so thank you for doing that. I'm always appreciative of people who spread the word. And Selena, many happy returns. Next, we'll say happy birthday to Paul. Paul, you've turned the big 50 today. And I know this because your wife Mary wrote to us, along with your children Phoebe, Jack, Catherine and Isabel. And well, I'm very sorry to hear that you've given up chocolate for Lent. I mean, that takes tremendous willpower, I'd imagine. And Mary has assured me that you will be having the next best birthday cake and a large slice of it. Now, that begs the question, what is that cake? If you can't have chocolate cake, I'm going to go for either. I do like lemon cake. You know, when it's sort of lemon drizzle cake? I especially like the end of the cake. I do quite like coffee cake as well. Anyway, Paul, I hope you get something that you enjoy. Many happy returns. Now we'll go over to southern Arizona and say happy birthday to Samantha from your sister Erin. And apparently, Samantha, it's very appropriate you were born on Pi Day because you have an incredible mathematical mind. And, well, I will say that Erin says that you are not yet into the channel, but this puzzle on the screen is going to be the first puzzle from the channel, and you're going to tackle it together. So I really hope it's one that leads to a lifelong addiction. Frankly, that's what I hope. Samantha, enjoy it, and I hope you have a good birthday today. And Erin, thank you for such a kind email. Next, we'll go. Oh. This is one I've made a mistake on. Bad, naughty Simon. Sophia. Well, Sophia turns 29 today. I know this because her boyfriend Dennis wrote to us. And I know, well, it's Sophia's birthday today, but I was meant to read this out yesterday, and I've made a real boo-boo by not doing it. I don't know how I messed it up in my diary, but the story is that Sophia is in Sweden at the moment. Dennis is having to work in China for a couple of months, and I think Sophia is going on a skiing vacation today, and so wouldn't see this video today. And I was meant to say yesterday that Sophia was meant to look in the chest upstairs, at the bottom of the chest upstairs, to find her birthday present. I feel awful. I'm so sorry. I did email you, Sophia, when I realised I've made a mistake, but I don't know if you'll have got the email in time. Anyway, Dennis did also write and say that he misses you tremendously, and your cats, Loki and Freya, that's two a god and a goddess, isn't it, from Norse mythology, I think. He can't wait to see you again when he gets home. But I've made a total boo-boo. I hope I haven't totally ruined your birthday, Sophia. And anyway, many happy returns. Dennis, I'm so sorry. Next, Tigron. Tigron, your wife Tanya wrote to us. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. And said, could I wish you a happy birthday? I think the two of you watch before bed. So many people do that. It's my soporific effect. Tigron, I hope you have some super cake. And then, oh, Yash, you're from South Africa, but your partner, I hope I'm just going to say this correctly, I'm going to say Ayaka, is Japanese, and apparently, Yash, you watch every night, and you sometimes have been known to shout at me, but I've got a picture. I've got a picture, yay, there we go. So that's the two of you together, and I hope that you have an absolutely splendid birthday. And let me tell you, Ayaka, your English is absolutely superb. It's far better than my Japanese. And then finally, it's not a birthday, but it's a rebirth day. Ashley in Maryland. Ashley has a husband and 3 daughters, and in 2017, at the age of 32, Ashley was diagnosed with leukemia. And then on Pi Day in 2018, a stem cell transplant from a stranger on a registry in Germany basically made all the difference. Ashley, what a thing you've had to go through, and your family too. I'm very, very pleased and relieved to hear that everything is all right now. And you asked if I could read a poem, your favourite poem. I certainly can. So this is a poem called The Mountain. It's Ashley's favourite. It's by Laura Ding Edwards, and this is it. If the mountain seems too big today, then climb a hill instead. If the morning brings you sadness, it's okay to stay in bed. If the day ahead weighs heavy and your plans feel like a curse, there's no shame in rearranging. Don't make yourself feel worse. If a shower stings like needles and a bath feels like you'll drown, if you haven't washed your hair for days, don't throw away your crown. A day is not a lifetime. A rest is not defeat. Don't think of it as failure, just a quiet, kind retreat. It's okay to take a moment from an anxious, fractured mind. The world will not stop turning while you get realigned. The mountain will still be there when you want to try again. You can climb it in your own time. Just love yourself till then. That is a great poem. That is a great poem. And Ashley, many, many, happy returns on your rebirth day. And that is all the news. A long introduction today. I hope you'll forgive me and understand why. Let's have a look at the puzzle, which is called Hyperextension by Matt Tressel and ChinStrap. Let me explain the rules. We have got normal Sudoku rules apply, so we have to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Then we have got something called silent serial killer. Digits may not repeat in cages. Well, that's normal. If the sum of a cage is a 1-digit number, that number must be in the cell pointed at by the cage's northwest corner. If the sum is a 2-digit number, it must be in the domino formed by that cell and the one to its left. Now, there is an example, and I've actually got a different example as well. It says, example, if the sum of the cage in box 3, let's look at that, so that cage there, if the sum of the cage in box 3 was 9, then row 1, column 6 would be 9. Yes, okay, because that's saying that this cell is providing the sum of that cage, because it's the cell pointed at by the cage's northwest corner. If its sum was 12, then row 1, column 5 would be a 1, and this would be a 2. So the 12 would be delivered, if you like, by 2 cells, because you can't obviously write 12 into this cell here. So, I mean, I actually think that's fairly clear, but there is a, over on Logic Masters Germany, there was an example. Let me see if I can show you it. Is that visible? Let's just have a quick look at this. I think this is just showing exactly what we've just seen. So presumably this cage here, 14 and 9 is 23. Yeah, so 23 is there, and then 9 must be 1 plus 3 plus 5, and that's correct. So, okay, that does make sense to me. But it's not the end of the rules, because we have tentropy lines. Every set of 4 adjacent digits on a peach line must contain a digit from each of the X pair 10-pair subsets of 1, 9, 2, 8, 3, 7, and 4, 6. A 5 may not appear on a tentropy line, and digits on a line may repeat if allowed by other rules. So what on earth does that mean? Let's look at this one. So let's imagine this was a 1 or a 9. Let's just put 1 in. I think what that means is that none of those 3 squares could be a 1 or a 9, because if they were a 1 or a 9, they would be from the same tentropy set. So one of these could be, let's say that one was 8, and then these two couldn't be 2s, for example, or 9s, because if they were, obviously 2, 8 is a tentropy set. The 2 digits add up to 10. 1, 9 is a tentropy set, so these would have to be from 3, 7 and 4, 6. One of them would be from 3, 7, one of them would be from 4, 6. And then that one would presumably revert to that one, would it? Yes. So this one would have to... So in fact that would be a 9 in this example, because it couldn't be a 1 again by Sudoku. So those 2 digits would add up to 10 across the tentropy line. That's already quite interesting. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. So I suppose the first thing we should do is... Hang on, how did the serial killer thing work? So if you've got... So does that mean those 2 digits are just the same? Is that what that means? If the sum of a cage is a 1-digit number, that number must... Yeah, okay. So that obviously can't add up to a 2-digit number. There's only 1 cell in it. So those 2 digits, I think, are the same digit. And the same is true here. Those 2 digits must be the same digit, and that must be different because obviously it can't be the green digit. So that means that the green digit is over there somewhere and the purple digit is over there somewhere. Not sure what that means. And we've got... How does that one work? Right, that one can't be, or at least my understanding would be that has to add up to a single digit total, because I can't put the tens digit in. If it added up to say 22, I could put the 2 there, but I couldn't put the tens digit in. There's no space for it in the Sudoku grid. So I think that this is like an arrow. We've got 3 different numbers there summing to this number. So if we populate this with 1, 2 and 3, which would be the least we could do, 1, 2 and 3 add up to 6. So this cell is at least a 6. Okay, so that's at least a 6. Now, that is on the tentropy line. So that digit is a low tentropy digit because... What we know is that those 2 digits sum to 10, don't they? Because imagine this was a 9, then this digit, sort of the digit 5 cells away, if you like, or this digit is going to have to be from the same tentropy set as this, but it can't be the same digit as it's in the same box. So if that's 9, that has to be 1. If this is 8, this has to be 2, etc. So that's low. That doesn't actually affect that though, does it? It would affect it if this was a 1. If this was a 1, this would have to be a 2, 3 and 4 adding up to 9, or this would be too big. Yeah, I do wonder if this is a colouring puzzle, because those 2 add up to 10, and those 2 add up to 10. These sort of C shapes, those 2 are going to add up to 10, those 2 are going to add up to 10, those 2 are going to add up to 10. Ah, right. Now it's more complicated here, isn't it? Because those 2, they may add up to 10, but they don't have to because they don't see each other from a Sudoku perspective. So imagine this was a 1. Then this is either 1 or 9, but it doesn't have to be 9. So it's not the case that those necessarily have to add to 10. They might end up adding to 10, but they don't have to. This one, those two will add up to 10. These two will add up to 10. This, see, that's it's not that easy, this, because that one could be a one digit or a 2-digit total. That one's got to be a 2-digit total, because the minimum that can be is 10 if it was 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so that one, yeah, so this digit here, let me just draw something in. Let's use the pen tool. Those 2 digits there are providing the total of this box. Now, if I minimize these 4 cells, remember you can't repeat a digit in a cage. This would be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now they sum to 10. So it's not possible to write the sum of this cage into just this cell. I've got to use this one as well. Now, interestingly, that digit is therefore a 1 or a 2. It can't be a 3, although I could, in theory, make those add up to 30. I would have to write 3 here and 0 here, which is not a Sudoku digit. So this must be 1 or 2. As must that one, because look, we've got another 4-cell cage here. So that's also 1 or 2. So that's a 1-2 pair, which means this digit is not 1 or 2. So that digit is, I was going to say that's got to be the complement of this one that adds up to 10 with it. Oh, that's right. That's beautiful. That is, this is beautiful logic. Right, look at that. So now, remember what this cell is doing. It is the sum of those 3 cells. But now it's been reduced to 6 or 7. And I know something about 3 different digits that add up to 6 or 7. They always include the digits 1 and 2. And that's because they're either a 1, 2, 3 triple if it's 6 here, or a 1, 2, 4 triple if it's 7 here. So I've now got all the low digits packed into this 2 by 2. So hang on, let me just think about this. Oh no, hang on, I've just seen something I hadn't spotted at all. Where's 5 in this box? Oh no, that hasn't been available throughout. Okay, I suddenly thought I've made a mistake. I haven't. Well, I don't think I have. I think 5 could have gone there until I just looked at it now. And 5 can't go on the tentropy lines, and 5 is not there, so 5 is placed, and that's our first digit. So actually we probably need, look, 5's going to be in one of those squares in this column. 5 can't go on a tentropy line, so 5 is here. Oh, sorry. Sorry if this has been available for ages. 5 is there, just goes straight in. 5 is... I think it's less restricted in box 9. It's got to be in one of those squares. So it's in one of 3 places in box 2. It can't go there, can it? Because that's going to transplant itself to here. So 5's in one of those 3. One of those 5. Okay, no, maybe it's not 5's then. That is on a tentropy line, so that is a 6 or a 7. So these are an 8, 9 pair. Oh, no, that's okay. This one is on the tentropy line, and that digit's going to be its equivalent, isn't it? You can't repeat a tentropy line within 4 cells. So this, the first repeat of whatever this is there. So that's a 1 or a 2. It can't be from the same tentropy set. I quite like saying the word tentropy. And now, is it possible for this to be a single digit total? It's difficult. If that's a 1, it's impossible. If that's a 1, that's got the minimum these two pixels could be would be a 2-3 pair. And this would add up to 10, which would be the sum of those two digits. So if that's a 1, it's these two that are being summed, and that would be a 1 or a 2. But if that's a 2, these could be a 1-3 pair, adding up to 9. Which is all very well, but I don't know what to do with that. Oh dear, sorry. Can we do anything with that? Those two are from the same. Those are from the same tentropy set. And these are from the same tentropy set. So is colouring our friend here? Let me just think about this. I'm trying to work out. Hang on. The colour of that these two don't add up to 10, do they? Those two add up to 10. Because within those 4 digits, obviously you can't repeat something from the same tentropy set. So if this was 8, that cannot be 2. That would have to be 1. So those two add up to 10. Yes, that is right. That's it. That's it. That's done it. Okay, why has that done it? Well, what that does is it allows me to think harder about this box. Where is the yellow high digit in this box? Now, it's obviously not in its own row, and it's not here because these add up to 10 across the tentropy set. So if I put this digit in either of those positions, it would be opposite this digit, and this 1 or 2 would repeat in the row. Now, why do I think that's interesting? Well, that means that this digit is in one of those 2 cells. Now, if it was here, that one would be the yellow 1 or 2. Okay, that might be fine. I don't know. But why I'm excited is that now I don't think this digit can be the sum of this cage. Because the only way that this cell had these 3 digits, this cage here had a single digit total was if this was a 2 and this was a 1-3 pair adding up to 9. And now we've got an 8-9 here and an 8 or a 9 in these squares. So this square cannot be a 9. The most that can be is 7. And that means this must have a 2-digit total, which means this square is a 1 or a 2. Because this certainly can't add up to 30 something. Yes, okay, so now that's the yellow 1 or 2, isn't it? Yeah, that is. So this one and this one are a pair. See, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know how these relate to these ones. Oh, bobbins. Well, let's just persevere. I'm going to have to bear in mind that purple and green could well be these colours. But just up at the top at the moment, it's clear that the blues, these 2 blues, add up to 10. So these squares are either 3, 7 or 4, 6. Whoopsie. So there's like a 3, 4, 6, 7 quadruple in row 2. And these squares are the blue digit, which is a 1 or a 2, and the digits 8 and 9. That's what these squares. So that is a quadruple in box 2. Those 4 squares are the digits 1, 2, 8, and 9. And therefore, what? What does that mean? I don't know actually. So I know these are from different. So these are from 3, 4, 6, and 7, aren't they? Because they can't be from 1, 2, 8, and 9 by this, and they can't be 5 by the tentropy rule. But those are from different sets. So one of those is a 3 or a 4, and is the partner of that one, I think. But the other one could be 3 or 4 or 6 or 7, and it's going to go over here. Wow, this is very, very interesting actually. So, okay, column 3 just has big digits left to place in it because I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quintuple. So these, okay, so the coloured digits down here are 6, 7, 8, and 9. These digits are 6, 7, 8, and 9 because we know that the green digits are the same, and these two are the same, and these two are the same. Okay, but these, right, hang on. So now this digit is blue, I think. On this tentropy line, well, yeah, I mean, this is a 1 or a 2, so it's either yellow or blue. But whatever it is, this is its complement in a pair that add up to 10. So if this was yellow, that would be the yellow 8 or 9, and it would clash. So that's got to be blue, that's got to be blue, it's 8 or 9. Now we've got only low digits to put into column 1. But this digit, oh, that's fine, isn't it? So that's, oh yeah, but I've got to be careful. I don't know whether this is yellow or not. Oh, bobbins, I don't know. Hang on. So this digit goes there. Well, its complement goes there. So that's 1, 2, 3, or 4. This digit's complement goes... Oh, hang on. Do those two add up to... Oh, that would be weird. That's right, isn't it? These are yellow, these two digits. Because I hadn't realised this, but all of these C shapes have this property where sort of the two digits across each other from the point of the short bit of the C across are from the same tentropy set. So this digit is not 6 or 7. So this is a pair, and it's not the blue pair. So that's the yellow pair. So now, okay, now I've got an 8-9 pair in column 3. So these two digits are... Okay, that's great. That is great, because I was worried that Sudoku would prove that these actually turned out to be yellow or blue, but they don't. Sudoku is actually proving that these are not yellow or blue. So I can leave this colouring alone. I don't have to, for once, I don't have to unwind it. Now, what does this mean? So this is, okay, so this digit in the corner is 3 or 4 now. It's an extraordinary puzzle, isn't it? It's really interesting. These rules are weird and very interesting. So those two are from the same tentropy set. They aren't blue, for what that's worth. Oh dear. Okay, what do we do now? I don't know. Presumably something. Something is what we do now. It's going to be... Right. I've got something for you. This is actually, I could have done this ages ago, but I've only just seen it. Right. Let's look at that line. Or not that line, that cage. That cage sums up to something. We don't know what the something is, but we do know that if it was summing to a 2-digit total, this would be its tens digit, and it would be at least a 3. Well, this can't add up to 30 something. There's only 3 digits in it. So this is not used in the sum of this cage, which means this is the sum of the cage, and it means that's 6, 7, 8, or 9, because we're summing 3 different numbers. Now, this one is on the tentropy line, so its equivalent is that one. So that's one. Well, I was going to say 1, 2, 3, or 4. Actually, Sudoku tells us it can't be 1 or 2. So that's 3 or 4. This is 6 or 7. Right. So so that's not yellow, is it? Yellow is an 8 or a 9 up here. So that is an 8 or a 9. This is a pair. This is a pair. Okay. Yeah, we're going to have to colour. Although, how does that relate to these colours? I don't know, actually. Let me just think about this, because this is a tentropy pair, and that's obviously... Yeah, hang on. If you just bear with me for a moment... Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. I'm going to slightly amend my colouring. I'm going to say those are green, and those are purple. Now... This is therefore definitely, in fact both of those are definitely green, aren't they? So both of these are now purple. Now this one, yeah, this was the thing. I couldn't see how I was going to be able to communicate. Yeah, okay, so I don't think that allows me to colour these. It allows me to give them 2 colours, which is very pleasant. Okay, and this is 1 purple and 1... that's not... Hang on, look. There's a 6, 7 pair looking at that square. So that's a 3 or a 4. But do I know its colour? Well, yes, I do, don't I? Because that's the green 3 or 4. So that's the purple 3 or 4. So these are a pair, and that must be green 6 or 7. I love this. This is very, very cool. But does that allow me to colour these? I'm still not sure it does, you know. But can I colour these? These have got to be blue and yellow. Though the high blue digit and the low yellow digit. So they're from 1, 2, 8, and 9. Okay. Oh, I see. Right, but this is great. Okay, remember this cage? We worked out that it was being... The sum of this cage couldn't be a single digit total. So it's these 2 digits that are summing to this cage. Oh, in fact, there's loads going on now, because that's a 6 or a 7 summing this cage. Oh, hang on, we are cooking with gas here. Because, first things first, is it possible this digit is a 2? No way. Because that would be 26 or 27 for a 3-digit sum. That's impossible in a Sudoku context. Well, even if you didn't have a 5 there, the maximum would be 7, 8, 9, which only adds up to 24. So, this is a 1. Yellow is a 1. So yellow is a 1. Yellow is a 1. Yellow is a 1, 9 pair. Okay, so, the corollary of that is that blue is a 2. So blues are 2s and 8s, wherever we find those. 1 comes out of here. So we can get rid of the blue. This is, oh, well, it's double blue and 1 yellow. I've got no way of showing that. Double blue, 1 yellow. 5, we should give 5 its own colour, shouldn't we? Let's give 5 a colour of, what do we think, orange? Maybe. Okay, we'll give it the colour orange, pro tem. Okay, so these digits are not 2s and 9s. These are 1s and 8s. And the sum is 16 or 17. Well, okay, that can't be a 1. If this was a 1, those would add up to 6. And this would have to be at least a 10 to get us up to 16. So that's definitely 8. That's definitely 1. And this probably has to be low now. But 8 is the blue digit, isn't it? So now we're on 13. We can't go beyond 17. So that is the low digit. That's 3 or 4. This is 6 or... Oh, whoopsie, whoopsie, whoopsie. Sorry, that's 6 or 7. These entropy lines are great. They're absolutely great. I haven't seen these before, and I very much admire them. Now, oh yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to think about. Look, this 6 or 7 is the sum of that cage. So this is either 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 4. It's definitely got 1 and 2 in it, and that is definitely not a 1. So 1 is in one of those squares in column 7, because there's definitely a 1 in this domino. I'd really like to know what that is. So if that's 6, that's 4. This would be 1, 2, 3. That would be 3, that would be 7. And if that's 7, that's 3. This is 1, 2, 4. That would be 4 and that would be 6. Okay, now I think I'm getting a bit stuck now. Let me cogitate for a moment or two. I've never thought about this 10 sum. Oh, I see. I've got it. It's straight. That's exactly it. Look at those two cells on the we know that these two, from the geometry we've already discovered, these two digits add up to 10. Well, what are they? They're not 2, 8, and they're not purple, and they're not green. So they've got to be yellow. Those two are yellow. They're a 1, 9 pair. And the 1 is not there. This is beautiful. So that's 9. That's 1. They are both yellow. 9 in box 9 is down here. Oh no. Oh yeah, no. Where's 1? Where's 1 in this box? I've never even thought about that. Just write it in. 1 is yellow. So 1 is in one of these two squares. Well, it's not. Okay, that's great. That's great because it's not here. This cage here is remember, this is adding up to a 2-digit total. Well, actually, we've now discovered that's 26 or 27. So if this was a 1, you can't make, even if that was 7, 8, 9, you'd only ever get to 25. So this is a 1, which is yellow, of course. 1 is in one of those two squares. What's 43? Yeah, okay, so I know something about those squares. Those 8 squares, which unfortunately don't have to all be different. I don't think, anyway. Sum to 43. How do I know that? Well, it's because the 10s digits and the 20 digits, they're just providing 30, aren't they, to the sum of these. And these are providing an extra 13. They're a 6, 7 pair. Don't know the order. Don't care. But well, I do care. But I don't care in terms of the mathematics of these cages. They must add up to 43, however these are disposed. Now, the fact is they could all be different digits, you know, if there was no 2 in them, using the secret. something I share with only my very favourite people. And of course, if you're watching this video, you're one of my favourite people. But the secret of Sudoku is, of course, that all of the Sudoku digits sum to 45. That is what you get if you add the digits 1 to 9. So, if there is a reason, I don't see why there is immediately, but imagine there was a reason why these are all different. Then, because they add up to 43, and if there were 9 different digits, they'd add up to 45, the missing digit would have to be a 2 from there, which would actually put a 2 here. And a 2 in the corner. And a 2 in one of those 2 squares. I don't know. That might be possible. What? We don't know, do we? Sorry, I realise I've stopped talking. I'm trying to see something. I can't see anything at the moment. 2 is definitely in here. No, that's useless. Those 2 are from the same tentropy set. They don't have to be different though, do they? Because they don't see each other. So imagine this was a 2. That could also be a 2. It doesn't have to be a 2-8 pair. Those 2 don't have to add up to 10. These 2 don't have to add up to 10. Two, 8, 9, 1. So there's, oh, I see, it's 1 from 3, 4, 1 from 6, 7. But, oh no, that doesn't work. Okay, sorry, I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything at all. Do I know what? Well, I suppose I know that's 3, 4, 6, or 7. That's definitely true because it can't repeat a tentropy within these 4 cells. So this can't be from 1, 9 or 2, 8. So that's 3, 4, 6, or 7, and it's different from whatever that one is. Which might matter. I don't know. I'm totally stuck. I don't know what to do. We could 9 in this box is in one of 2 cells. It can't go there because it would repeat on the tentropy line too quickly. 9 is in 2 cells in box 7. I suppose I can rule 9 out of those squares. Is there some way we can do better than that? Ah, yes, there is. Right. Okay, I'm going to change tack altogether and do maths. A Pi Day. It's a very appropriate day for doing maths. Right. Look at the sum of those 4 cells. Now it's 26 or 27. If it was 27, we could immediately say there had to be a 9 in those 4 cells, because if you add up 4 digits that don't include 9, 8, 7, 6 and 5 only add up to 26. Now, but this actually can't be, Maverick's about to fly over, it can't be 8765 because of this digit. So there is no way to get to 26 or 27 if you don't use a 9 in those squares. The only way would have been 8765, and that's illegal. So 9 is in here, and it's not in there. So 9 is in one of those 2. Well, no, that's still good. That's still fine, actually. So 9 is in one of these 2 cells because it's necessary for this cage, so it's not there. So 9 is here, and 9 is yellow. So 9 is here, and 9 is yellow. By Sudoku. 9 in column 4 is where? And the answer is not there, so it's somewhere here, but that's a 289 triple, so it must be there exactly. And these squares are now both blue, and that square is yellow. And that's going to mean... I don't know. I don't know what that means. So, okay, I've got almost all the 9s. I've got 7 9s in the grid. I'm just left with these dominoes here. And I have a feeling I know what this is somehow. That feels like the bit of the puzzle I've underused compared to what I know. I know so much. I know this is either 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 4. How do I know which of those things it is? I know those are from the same Tentropy set. That's horrible. I mean, there's so many options. I mean, 1, 9 is not an option. But it could be 2, 8 in a 1 order, or it could be 3 7s or 4 6s. Okay, I suppose that digit can never be 6 or 7 though, can it? Which means that digit can never be 3 or 4. Ah, alright. Okay, this digit is under more pressure than I'd realised. Because this digit is not 6 or 7, its equivalent on the Tentropy line... Oh no, it could be 3 or 4. No. Well, hang on. I've got to be really careful here because those could be the same digit. Yeah, I'm wrong. I'm totally wrong, aren't I? Because if that was a 4, that could also be a 4. Oh, I'm not sure now. Hang on. Okay, I am going to think about this. So this is 3, 4, 6. I mean, this is an appalling pencil mark. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Now this digit, if this is 3 or 4, this would have to be the same, exactly the same digit. Because it couldn't be a 6 or a 7. But if that's an 8, this could be a 2 in addition. So, okay, so I do think this cell is under pressure, but I don't think this one is. Because if that is 3 or 4, this could be the same digit, 3 or 4, as well as being the complement of 3 or 4 that adds up to 10. That's really complicated. But that one, I think, that one itself is a little bit restricted. Let me just double check that. So in this column, if we do the logic totally in this column, 2, 3, 4, 2, it can't be 5, 2, 3, 4 or 8. Why can't this be 8? Because that would make this... No, why can't that be 8? Because I was going to say it would make this a 2, but it wouldn't if that was an 8 as well. They would be from the same Tentropy. Actually, this is really confusing. I think I'm now going to restore 8 to this. I'm still not certain. I just don't believe it. I think I could make a mistake across there. I'm very confident now, having thought about it, that this is not a very easy next step. If that is the next step, I'll be very surprised. Anyway, it doesn't seem to work, does it? It doesn't seem to do anything. So, instead of that, what are we going to look at? We're going to look at... Right, I'm going to look at this square instead, because that square I can see cannot be 8 or 2. So that is definitely 3, 4, 6 or 7. It obviously can't be 1, 9, and it can't be 5. So its friend is that one, and that is 3, 4, 6 or 7. And those could be the same. Ah, okay. Here's a totally different way of asking these questions. Where is the 2-8 pair in that 4-cell sequence? There must be a 2 or an 8 in that 4-cell sequence. It's not there, so it must be there. And that is a blue digit. Right, so I've got a blue pair of 2 and 8 in column 6, which means this digit must be, it can't be from 1, 9. That's from 3, 4, 6, 7. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. It means something. And I wish I knew what. I wish I knew what. Let's think about that then. We've got... no, that doesn't work. What I was about to say is just nonsense, so I refuse to say it. What's that? Okay, that's 3, 4, 6, or 7 as well. 3, 4, 6, or 7. I almost feel like I want to recolour the... I've got this nice colouring going on at the top, but the way it's transposing down to the bottom is just not helping me at all. I mean, because remember, these two digits are the same digit, aren't they? So they are in one of those two cells. Those two digits are the same digit. I don't know if you need 8 in there, actually. Do you need an 8? If that's... If there was no 8 in here, then what could it be? It could be 9, 7, 6, 4 would be the best, which is 26, which would work. No, that doesn't work, actually. That's weird. Why can't I see why that doesn't work? Okay, the reason that doesn't work is that if there is no 8 in here, we have to get up to 26 or 27. There is one way of doing it, which is exactly... Let me just put the options in so I can show you. That is the way you would have to do it. And what I'm seeing there is I haven't put 2 and 8 into the row, and they can't both go in that square. So it is impossible to do it. It's just a bit weird. So 8 is in here. So 8 is in one of those two squares. Remember, it can't go here because there's this 2-8 pair in column 6. Right, so... Oh, I see. Oh, that is genius. Wow. Okay, I have got something now. This is not easy, but let's look at this cage now. And I'm just going to use some letters for a moment to show you what I'm noticing about this box. Now, these two squares, I'm just going to call them A. They're clearly from some set that add up to 10, because they're 5 apart on the 10 entropy line. So this digit is not from the set of A. I'm going to say that these two are from the set of B. Now, look along the bottom row. If this was a 7, I've already got 17 in here. I've got 8 and 9 in here. So I've got 2 more digits in here that add up to 10. Which tentropy set? Because it must be, if 2 digits are adding to 10, they must be in a tentropy set, mustn't they? It must be possible to add one of the various pairs to this box. Which one should we add? We can't add 1, 9 because we've already got 9 in there. We can't add 2, 8. We've already got that in there. The other two sets are A and B. And they can't both be in here. It can't be double A, that's going to clash here. It can't be double B, that's going to clash here. So this cannot add to 27, it adds to 26, which means we're in this world. And that is 6 and that is 7 because of the cage thingies that we learnt about. So these are 7s. Well, one of those is a 6 now. But we can do some maths, can we? No, let's not do maths. We don't need to do maths. That was a tentropy set. Unfortunately, I don't get a 3 in the corner, though. I get a 4 in the corner. Yeah, rotten old puzzle. Yeah, okay, so those are 3, 7 now. Right, so these squares are 4, 6, and now I was going to say 5, but that's not right. Is it 8? 4, 6, 8. Lots of even digits. So these digits now, we must know those. 2, 2, 3, 5. Okay. We're going to be able to deduce the sum of those two digits using the secret, because we know this cage sums to 26. So we've got 26, 30, 36, which means to get to 45 for the row overall, those two cells add up to 9, which means this is 2 or 6. And we look up the column and we discover that either of those things are possible. Oh, no way! Really? Okay, look, neither of those is a 6. Does that help us? Oh, hang on, what's going on? Oh, no, I thought it was going to be 7 actually in column 8. Because I've got 7s in that disposition, so there is a 7 in one of those 3 squares. Which feels like it might be trying to work its magic, doesn't it? And that square, okay, this square's come right down in terms of its options. That's come down to 4, 6 or 8. So if it's 4 or 6, that could be the same digit, which would be 4 or 6. And if it's 8, this could be the same digit, or it could also be 2. Right, and that can't be 6 by Sudoku. But that doesn't allow me to take 6 out of here, because that could be a 6 and that could be a 4. And that's very distressing indeed. There must be a way, I suppose, of... What have we got here now? We've got 16 or 17. Yeah, that's fine, isn't it? We've got 6 or 7 here. I think there must be a way of relating the colouring of this whole top of the grid to these squares, which seems to be the crucial game in town, doesn't it? Like, if I knew these were purple or green, it would completely transform the top of the puzzle. Ah, no, I don't need to do that yet. Right, look at this. This adds to 17, so this adds to 17. That can't be a 2, because these two would add up to 3. These two would have to add up to 14. And how are we going to do that if we can't do 5, 9 or 6, 8? You can't put 9s or 6s into those pairs. So that has to be an 8. And that's going to unwind a little bit of stuff. So 8, look, is in one of those squares now. So 2 isn't. Because by Sudoku, if 8 is here, you can't put 2 in, because you'd be repeating the tentropy. Now, surely that limits this a bit. It doesn't. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. That's rotten. You naughty puzzle. Okay, can we do more here then? We've got 9. What do we need? 17. So these add up to 8. And they're not 1, 7 or 2, 6. Yes, we can. That's 3, 5. Surely that does it, does it? Yes. Well, it does something. If that's 3, 5, which I think it is, that's a 7 and that's a 3. Right, and that allows us to get the digit in the corner here. Because remember, those two squares added up to 9. So that's a 6. And that's going to get... Now, this is finally the communication that tells us the nature of purple. Because purple is now a 7. This is a 3. So that's a 6 and that's a 4. That's a 6. So 6, 4, 7, 3, 3. So purple is what 7 is. Green is definitely 6. Green is definitely 6. That can't be a 4 anymore. So this is a 2 or a 3. I'm just going to tidy up my pencil markings a little bit, I think. Let's work out what this cage is at the bottom. It is 2, 7, 8, 9. That makes sense, doesn't it, given what it's got to add up to. The 8 goes exactly here. And there must be an 8 in it. We worked that out earlier. The 9... Oh, I don't know where the 9 goes. But that 3 is looking at that 5. So that's a 3. So this isn't a 3. And that's... does that do anything? I don't know. Not sure. It probably does. These two squares we know, though. They are... Oh, the 7 has to go here now. And what digit have we not put in? 4. Whoopsie. 4 by Sudoku in this column goes here. Which means, oh, we could have got that. Once this was a 6, we knew this was a 1, 2, 3 triple. I just didn't think about it. So 5, 6, 8 is what we're putting into these squares. So the 6 must go here. So that's no longer 6. That's no longer 6. So 4, 8. This is a 5, 8 pair. And that cell is a 2 or a 3. And it's not a 2. Right. So that's 3. That's 2. This is a 1, 3 pair. That's not 3. There's a 4, 7 pair here. So we haven't put the digit. What is the digit I'm missing here? 7, is it? No. Sorry, that's the 7's coming from here. I don't... Is it 5 then? Oh, it's 5. Sorry, yes, it's 5. That's got to be a 5. So that's no longer a 5. 5 must be in one of these squares, along with a 1, look. Oh, that's big. So this is a 1... Sorry, this is a 1, 5 pair, and that's placing 9. Which is placing 9 down here. And 2, 4. This is 2 or 4 by Sudoku. So this is 2 or 4 by Sudoku. It's definitely not 7. Why have I got 7 in that cell? Don't know. Why have I got 7? I don't know why I've got a 7 corner marked here. That's a bit suspicious, isn't it? What was I thinking about there? Don't know. I'm really not sure. Is it some? Oh, it might be to do with the tentropy line, but these can be the same. No, I don't think that's helpful at all. Okay, all right. Let's not worry too much about that. Let's try this column. That square. Well, that square is definitely not 5, so that's a 5. This square, I think, is 3, 4, or 7, but it seems to have to be a 4 or a 7, and that's probably the same there. And that gives me a 4, 7 pair. It makes this square a 3. Now the only thing that might do is, yeah, okay, this can't be 4 now, because these are on the same tentropy relationship. So that's the 7, that's the 2, that's the 4, that's the 2, that's the 7, that's the 4. Have we got one of every type? Yes, I want to say. So this is 4, this is 7. Okay, and what do we need in this column? 2 and something. Is it 2 and 6? Yes, so the 6 must go here. That must be a 2. That's a 5. That's an 8. That's a 5. That's a 5. That's a 1. That's a 1. That's a 3. That's a 3. That's a 2. That is a 4. Is that going to make sense with this one? Ah. Yes. Only if that's a 4, though. That's the only way it makes sense. It can't go with 8, can it? So is 8 here, then? Yeah, 8's there. Obviously I've got to spruce up all of my colours are all totally and utterly wrong now. Well, not wrong, but I've got to make sure everything is blue that needs to be blue. All the 1s and all the 9s need to be yellow. All of the 4s and all of the 6s need to be green. All of the 3s and all of the 7s need to be purple. and all of the 5s need to be orange. And isn't that a beautiful, beautiful puzzle? Absolutely incredible. Hyperextension, that was wonderful. I mean, it's taken me a little while actually, but there was quite a lot in introduction today. As I say, our Friday night viewers are very close to our hearts, so I hope you're still with me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a go at the puzzle actually. Matt Tressel and ChinStrap, that was very special, really interesting stuff. And let us know in the comments how you got on. We enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.